exploring the fascinating intersection of science and mental well-being. Today, we're diving into a historical moment that sparked a revolution in our understanding of the brain.
That's right, Molly. We're going back to 1785 to the laboratory of Luigi Galvani, a professor dissecting a frog in Bologna. Imagine this. A spark jumps from an electrostatic machine, his scalpel touches the frog's leg, and it twitches. A seemingly insignificant event, yet it ignited a scientific firestorm.
Galvani believed he discovered animal electricity, a life force inherent within the frog. A pretty revolutionary idea for the time.
Absolutely. But another brilliant mind, Alessandro Volta, disagreed. He argued the electricity came not from the frog itself, but from the interaction of dissimilar metals, the scalpel and the frog's fluids, creating a chemical reaction.
And the ensuing debate was incredibly fruitful. Volta's work led to the invention of the battery, proving the chemical basis of electrical current. But Galvani's initial observation was equally profound. He demonstrated that electricity plays a crucial role in biological function.
Exactly. This electrical signaling, the language of neurons, is the very foundation of our thoughts, memories, and sensations. Think about it. That tiny twitch of a frog's leg foreshadowed our modern understanding of the nervous system.
Now, let's fast forward to the 21st century. We know the brain isn't just one big lump. It's a mind-bogglingly complex network of around 86 billion neurons, each constantly communicating with thousands of others.
And the key to this communication lies in these tiny gaps called synapses. Neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and glutamate act as chemical messengers, hopping across these gaps to transmit signals.
It's truly amazing how the simple physics of diffusion and the precise chemistry of molecular binding dictate the speed and effectiveness of these transmissions. It is all chemistry and electricity.
It really is. Consider the process of learning. When we encounter new information, specific neuronal pathways fire, strengthening the connections between neurons.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of neurobiology and its profound connection to mental health. Jason, are you ready to spark some neurons?
Absolutely, Molly. It's a topic that's both incredibly complex and deeply personal. We're talking about the very foundation of who we are, how we think, and how we feel.
Exactly. Consider this. Every thought, every memory, every emotion is rooted in the intricate dance of electrical and chemical signals within our brains. When we learn something new, we're not just storing information. We're physically altering the landscape of our neural pathways.
That's right. This strengthens the pathways, making it easier for those same pathways to fire again, improving recall. This isn't just a matter of firing neurons. It involves complex biochemical cascades, altering the gene expression within those neurons, leading to physical changes in the structure of the brain, a physical manifestation of memory.
But this remarkable process isn't foolproof, is it? There are so many factors that can throw things off balance.
Precisely. This process, however, is subject to disruptions. Genetic predispositions, environmental factors, and even the physics of random molecular collisions can lead to imbalances in neurotransmitter levels or structural impairments in neural pathways. This might manifest as anxiety, depression, or other mental health challenges.
And that's where modern mental health care comes in, trying to understand and address these imbalances.
Yes, understanding these imbalances, identifying the specific chemical or structural deficits, and developing targeted interventions, whether pharmacological or through behavioral therapies that stimulate neuroplasticity, is the essence of modern mental health care.
It's incredible to think how far we've come in understanding the brain. And it all started with, well, a twitching frog leg, right?
That's right. The journey from a twitching frog's leg to the intricate understanding of neurobiology and mental illness spans centuries. It shows the power of careful observation, rigorous experimentation, and interdisciplinary collaboration in unraveling the mysteries of the human mind, emphasizing the crucial intersection of physics, chemistry, biology, history, and, ultimately, psychology.
It's a story that's still unfolding, isn't it?
Absolutely. The story is far from over, but the principles, the electrical signals, the chemical messengers, the malleable neural network.
He's not entirely correct, of course. We now understand the electrochemical processes underlying muscle contraction, a cascade of events triggered by the release of neurotransmitters like acetylcholine at the neuromuscular junction.
These neurotransmitters, complex organic molecules, bind to receptors on muscle fibers, altering their permeability to ions, sodium, potassium, calcium, triggering a chain reaction that culminates in a muscle fiber's contraction.
Galvani's frog leg, unwittingly, opened a door to our understanding of the intricate dance of chemistry and physics underpinning human movement, and by extension, our behavior.
Fast forward to the 20th century. The rise of neuroscience unveils the incredible complexity of the brain, a 3-pound organ containing roughly 86 billion neurons, each connected to thousands of others through intricate networks of synapses.
These synapses, microscopic gaps between neurons, are the sites of communication, where neurotransmitters flit across, carrying signals that influence our thoughts, feelings, and actions.
Think of it as a vast, interconnected network, not unlike the internet, but vastly more sophisticated. Information travels at varying speeds, depending on the myelination of the axons, the long projections of neurons.
Myelin, a fatty substance, acts as insulation, speeding up the transmission of electrical signals. Damage to myelin, as seen in multiple sclerosis, dramatically impacts neural communication, resulting in a range of neurological symptoms.
Now, consider the physics involved. The brain's electrical activity, measured by an electroencephalogram, EEG, demonstrates the brain's constant.
Welcome everyone to Mind Matters, where we delve into the fascinating world of mental well-being. I'm Molly.
And I'm Jason. Today, we're going to explore the surprising connections between biology, chemistry, physics, history, and how they all contribute to our understanding of the human mind.
That's right, Jason. It's easy to think of mental health as solely a psychological issue, but the reality is far more intricate. Let's start with the basics, the electrical activity in our brains.
These electrical signals, minute fluctuations in voltage, are the result of ions moving across neural membranes, a direct consequence of those fundamental chemical interactions. The brain, in its dynamic electrical activity, is constantly changing, adapting, and responding to its environment.
This plasticity, this ability to reshape its connections, is crucial to learning, memory, and our overall cognitive function. The very architecture of the brain, its physical structure, is constantly being molded by experience, a testament to the interplay of biology, chemistry, and physics within the confines of this remarkable organ.
Absolutely. And it's not just the hard sciences at play. Even our history informs our understanding of mental well-being.
You're talking about the philosophical and early medical perspectives, right? Like Socrates' emphasis on self-knowledge?
Exactly. And the ancient Greeks' understanding of the four humors, blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile, all represent early attempts to grapple with the complexities of the human mind.
These historical perspectives, while scientifically inaccurate in their details, reveal a persistent human desire to understand the inner workings of our consciousness. Our modern understanding of mental health, with its sophisticated diagnostic tools and treatments, builds upon this centuries-long quest for knowledge, a testament to the cumulative power of scientific inquiry.
From Galvani's frog leg to the intricacies of modern neuroscience, the story of our understanding of mental well-being is a journey through the interwoven realms of biology, chemistry, physics, and history, a narrative still unfolding before us.
And speaking of history, let's take a trip back in time. The year is 1879, and a young German physician,
named Emil Kraepelin, if I'm not mistaken, sits hunched over meticulous charts. Not just any charts, mind you.
Imagine shelves upon shelves filled with records. Thousands of patients, each entry a painstaking chronicle of symptoms, family history, and the progression of their illness. This is where our story begins.
And at the heart of it all, a figure named Emil Kraepelin, unburdened by the romantic notions of his discipline of a chemist analyzing a complex compound.
He meticulously separated observations, classifying mental disorders not by vague labels, but by observable patterns, the timeline of symptoms, their severity, their responsiveness to treatment. This systematic approach, born not of emotion but of empirical observation, lays the foundation for the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, or DSM, that we use today.
Exactly. His work wasn't about feelings. It was about neurochemistry, or at least a nascent understanding of it. While the precise workings of the brain remained largely a mystery, Kraepelin's focus on observable behaviors mirrored the burgeoning understanding of chemical processes.
Think about it. Just as a chemist might analyze the reaction between sodium and chlorine to predict the formation of salt, Kraepelin sought to understand the predictable patterns of mental illness.
The meticulous charting, the careful quantification, this was the birth of modern psychiatry, a discipline born not from a desire to soothe troubled souls, necessarily, but from a scientific ambition to understand the workings of the human brain as a complex biological system.
And it's incredible how far we've come since then. Fast forward a century, and we find ourselves equipped with tools Kraepelin could only dream of.
Absolutely. Neuroimaging technologies like fMRI reveal the brain's intricate dance of electrical and chemical activity in real time. We can see, quite literally, the different regions lighting up as we process information, make decisions, and even experience pain.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Mind Matters. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of neurochemistry and exploring its connection to mental illness. Jason, ready to get started?
Absolutely, Molly. It's amazing to think about how far we've come in understanding the biological basis of mental health. We can now see the intricate interplay of neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, something that pioneers like Kraepelin could only speculate about.
Exactly. It's like observing a chemical reaction under a powerful microscope. Let's break down the basic physics. The brain, this incredible 3-pound organ, functions through electrochemical signaling.
Right. Billions of neurons communicating through electrical impulses. Each impulse is a tiny, perfectly timed event jumping across synapses, those minuscule gaps between neurons.
And that's where neurotransmitters come in, the chemical messengers. They bind to receptors on the receiving neuron, triggering another electrical impulse. The speed and precision of this process are just mind-blowing.
It truly is. It's a feat of biological engineering that surpasses even the most advanced AI. But this complexity is also a vulnerability. A slight imbalance in neurotransmitter levels, a disruption in these signaling pathways, and the whole system can be thrown off.
Which can then manifest as what we classify as mental illness. And think about the historical context. Not so long ago, these conditions were attributed to demonic possession or divine punishment.
It's a stark contrast to our current understanding, where we recognize the basis in the biological processes within the brain. It's a scientific revolution in thought.
Absolutely. The very act of using the scientific method, chemistry, physics, biology, to understand the brain represents a huge achievement of human ingenuity.
A testament to our relentless pursuit of knowledge. It's a cool, objective search for truth, not some emotionally driven quest.
But the journey is far from over. We still have so much to learn about the complexities of the brain and how these neurochemical processes contribute to mental health. Join us next time as we delve deeper into specific neurotransmitters and their roles in different mental illnesses.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Matters. Until next time, take care.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode where we delve into the fascinating world of neuroscience. Today, we're embarking on a journey to understand the complexities of the human brain, a realm that continues to challenge and inspire us, pushing the boundaries of mental well-being.
That's right, Molly. The brain is arguably the most complex structure in the known universe. It's a constant source of awe and bewilderment, even to those of us who study it.
Let's rewind the clock to 1785. Imagine Luigi Galvani, an Italian physician, meticulously dissecting a frog. He makes an extraordinary observation. A spark from his electrostatic machine causes the frog's leg to twitch, even after death. What was happening there?
That was the dawn of understanding bioelectricity. Galvani stumbled upon the electrical signals that power our nervous system, the very foundation of thought and feeling. He didn't fully grasp the why, but he uncovered the how of nerve function.
Fast forward to the late 19th century. Santiago Ramon y Cajal, using painstakingly developed staining techniques, revealed the intricate architecture of the brain. What did he discover?
Cajal revealed a breathtaking network of neurons, intricately woven together like a cosmic tapestry. These individual cells, each a tiny bioelectrical powerhouse, communicate through synapses, minuscule gaps bridged by chemical messengers. Think dopamine, serotonin, acetylcholine. These names evoke the complexity of this chemical orchestra conducting the symphony of our minds.
So, let's talk about the physics of it all. How does this all translate into actual thought and action?
Each neural impulse, each thought, each memory is a cascade of ions flowing across neuronal membranes, a carefully orchestrated change in electrical potential. This movement, governed by the laws of electrochemistry, is precisely measurable.
And how do we measure it?
We can observe these tiny currents in the brain using electroencephalography, or EEG, a technology that maps brainwave patterns, revealing the intricate rhythms of our mental activity.
So, these electrical signals are the key, but they don't exist in isolation, right?
Exactly. They are intimately intertwined with our biology. The interplay of electrical and chemical processes within the brain is what makes it so incredibly complex and fascinating.
Welcome, everyone, to today's episode where we'll delve into the intricate world of the brain and how it shapes our mental well-being. I'm Molly.
And I'm Jason. We're going to explore the fascinating interplay of biology, chemistry, and history that underlies our understanding of mental health. Let's start by considering the fundamental structure of our neurons.
Exactly, Jason. The precise structure of our neurons, with their intricate branching dendrites and axons, dictates the speed and efficiency of information processing. Think of it as the super efficient wiring of a vast communication network.
And doesn't stop there, Molly. Our genetic makeup also plays a significant role. It influences the production of neurotransmitters, impacting everything from our mood regulation to our cognitive abilities. It's like having a unique chemical signature that affects how our brain functions.
It's amazing how interconnected everything is. Even our gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria residing in our digestive system, communicates with our brain through the vagus nerve, influencing our neurochemistry and, consequently, our mental state.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it? Now, let's think about the historical context. For centuries, mental illness was shrouded in superstition and fear. But the scientific understanding of the brain has gradually shifted our perspective.
Absolutely. The biological reality of mental health conditions from depression to schizophrenia is increasingly understood through the lens of neurochemistry, genetics, and neuroanatomy.
And that understanding has revolutionized treatment. We can now treat these conditions with targeted pharmaceuticals, often modulating the activity of specific neurotransmitters, thereby restoring the delicate balance of the brain's chemical orchestra.
It's like fine-tuning a complex instrument, bringing harmony back to the brain's function. It's a far cry from the days of lobotomies and purely observational approaches.
Precisely. This journey through the history of neuroscience illustrates that our mental well-being is a complex interplay of biology, chemistry, physics, and even our history.
It's a testament to the power of scientific inquiry to unravel the mysteries of the human mind and pave the way for a deeper understanding and improved treatment of mental health conditions.
To think, the frog's leg twitching under Galvani's scalpel was more than just a bizarre observation. It was the first note in a symphony of discovery that continues to resonate today. Even way back in 1879, hints were there of how our brains operate.
A fascinating journey from superstition to science. Thanks for joining us today as we explored the biological basis of mental well-being. Welcome, listeners, to another episode where we delve into the fascinating world of psychology. Today, we're traveling back in time to a Leipzig laboratory in the late 19th century, where a German physician named Wilhelm Wundt is meticulously measuring reaction times. Jason set the scene for us.
Absolutely, Molly. Wundt isn't just timing reflexes. He's trying to chart the very speed of thought itself. He's using experiments with things like flashing lights and measuring the incredibly tiny fractions of a second between seeing the light and consciously responding to it. Little did he know, he was laying the groundwork for an entirely new field, cognitive psychology.
It's amazing, isn't it? This seemingly simple experiment touches upon so many different disciplines, from physics to biology to chemistry. Think about it. A flashing light, a burst of photons, a fundamental particle of physics, kicks off this entire chain reaction.
Exactly. These photons can stimulate photoreceptor cells in the retina, triggering a cascade of electrochemical events that travel along the optic nerve, like a biological cable carrying electrical signals. It's like a super fast messaging service within our bodies.
And these signals aren't just simple electrical impulses. They're coded in the language of neurotransmitters, those chemical messengers like dopamine and glutamine, racing through the neural pathways of the brain. We're talking about incredibly complex communication happening in real time.
It's mind-boggling when you consider the brain structure. The occipital lobe processes visual information, then relays the message to other areas. The parietal lobe deals with spatial awareness. The temporal lobe handles memory, and the frontal lobe, the seat of executive function, makes the decision to respond. All orchestrated by precise chemical reactions.
Each step is governed by precise chemical reactions, a carefully orchestrated ballet of molecules. It really brings home how interconnected everything is.
And that reaction time Wundt was measuring, it wasn't just a random number. It reflected the efficiency of these incredibly complex biological and chemical processes. It's a testament to the power and intricacy of the human mind, all sparked by something as simple as a flashing light.
Absolutely. And that's where we'll leave it for today, folks. Join us next time as we delve deeper into the fascinating world of cognitive psychology and explore how Wundt's legacy continues to shape our understanding of the mind. Until then, keep thinking. Welcome, everyone, to today's exploration of the fascinating connection between our minds and bodies. We often take for granted the speed at which our brains process information, but have you ever stopped to consider what influences that speed?
That's a great point, Molly. Factors like age, sleep deprivation, and even subtle fluctuations in blood glucose levels can significantly impact our cognitive processes. It's a tangible manifestation of the intricate interplay between the body and the mind, demonstrating how physical processes directly shape our cognitive abilities.
Exactly. And the quest to understand this connection is nothing new. Centuries before Wilhelm Wundt established the first psychology lab, philosophers were already pondering the nature of consciousness.
Right, the ancient Greeks, for example, debated the location of the soul, often associated it with the heart. It's amazing to think about how far we've come in our understanding of the mind.
Absolutely. The shift towards a scientifically grounded understanding of the mind only began relatively recently. Now, modern neuroscience employs sophisticated imaging techniques like fMRI and EEG to visualize brain activity in real time, revealing the neural correlates of consciousness with breathtaking precision.
These advancements build upon the foundational work of individuals like Wundt, showing us how seamlessly physics, chemistry, biology, and psychology are interwoven in the story of our minds.
It's a truly interdisciplinary field. Understanding this intricate interplay is crucial not only for appreciating the complexities of human cognition, but also for developing effective strategies to maintain and improve mental well-being.
Precisely. The journey from Wundt's simple reaction time experiment to the sophisticated neuroscience of today illuminates the remarkable power and profound intricacy of the human mind. It's a continuous process of discovery.
Indeed. And and a reminder of how deeply interconnected our physical and mental states truly are. Join us next time as we delve deeper into specific strategies for optimizing brain health and cognitive function.